Hi everybody, Dana here, and today I'm going to ask you a question and we're going to have a bit of a quiz so you can find some deeper answers around your health, fitness and wellness. Let me ask you a question. If I told you there was a pill that you could take and it will give you approximately an extra 4 years on life, what would you say? Would you take the pill? Yes or no? I mean, what would 4 extra years do for you? For me, I potentially think about if I've got grandchildren, I'd be able to share in watching them grow. My own children, I'd get to share more experiences with them and more time with them. My loved ones, my husband Rob, all those different reasons. I think, yep, I would definitely take it. Well, if you said yes, the reality is there is no pill that will give us an extra 4 years. However, observational data shows that if you exercise approximately 150 minutes a week, the data shows that you get approximately an extra 4 years of life. Now that's interesting, isn't it? What I want to share today is a quiz with you as to how are you going with your lean muscle mass? After we've done the quiz, I'll share with you why this is so important and how you can help to be able to increase your lean muscle mass even as a woman in our 40s, 50s, 60s and beyond. All right, so if you need to stop the video, grab a pen and paper, do so, come back, and I'm going to get into the questions. All right, so all you've got to do is give yourself a point for every question that is a yes for you. Yeah, so the first question is, have you ever noticed, or this may have happened to you, that when you're walking around the street that you tend to trip? It may be that there's a rise in the concrete or it's uneven and you've just noticed maybe you're not lifting your feet as much. Right, yes or no? So if it's a yes, it's 1 tick. Next question, have you noticed when you cross the road, be it, it says walk, the sign walk, and as you're crossing, you notice that that flashing light seems to come up a lot quicker than it did in the olden days. So it's like, my goodness, is that going quicker? I know for my mum, this is definitely an issue. She's like, oh, it doesn't last long these days. And so have you noticed that as well? It's taking more effort to get across the road in time with the going across the road. Yes? Give yourself a tick. Next one, what about when you undo those jars? Are you finding it a little bit more difficult than you used to, or even is it creating pain in your fingers, yeah, or your hands? Yes, give yourself a tick. Number 4, what about when you get out of your chair? Have you noticed it's a little bit more challenging than it used to be? Maybe you rock to get out of the chair, maybe you hold on to the chair, maybe you hold on to the table. Now with this same question, if not the chair, think about your car. When you get out of your car, are you noticing that you're having to hold on to something to sort of pull yourself up and out of the car? Give yourself a tick if that's a yes. Alrighty, next one is, have you found yourself, you know, wherever you go, where all the toilets are? We go to a new town, I know where the public toilets are. Have you noticed that your pelvic floor just isn't as strong as it used to be? So you tend to find you have to go to the public toilet a little bit more often. You cannot hold on when you get home. You've got what we call urge incontinence. It's like, everyone out of the way, I need to go to the toilet now. Yeah, you even cross your legs, hope for the best, and hope you don't have an accident. If any of that relates to you, give yourself a tick. What about you've been sick recently? You may have suffered some sort of virus or the flu and you've had to rest by laying down in bed. If that is the case, give yourself a tick. What about, are you over 35 years of age? Give yourself a tick. Wobbly bits. Have you noticed that your body shape is now a little bit more wobbly than it used to be? You might notice it in your bottom area, it might be a bit more droopy. Underneath your arms might be a little bit more droopy. You might notice your legs, your thighs are a little bit more wobbly than they used to be. Give yourself a tick. Have you been on a diet and lost weight relatively fast? Give yourself a tick. And also, if you have lost weight fast or even been on a diet and not done resistance training whilst dieting, give yourself a tick. So there's two parts to that. If you've been on a diet, you've lost weight quick, give yourself a tick. If you've been on a diet, lost weight, but you were not exercising, give yourself a tick. Next one is you are not doing resistance training at the moment 2 to 3 times a week. So resistance training is where we're either lifting weights, lowering weights, or using our own body weight, things like push-ups and squats and lunges, all that good stuff, chin-ups, working with a resistance band. If you are not doing that type of work 2 to 3 times a week, give yourself a tick, a yes. Are you finding that you are becoming more tired and more fatigued? So it's more, you know, after lunch you might get that real lethargic feeling. I used to call them in the day a nana nap. Or you might find that you just enjoy sitting around that little bit more. It takes you all day to do what you used to do all day long. Give yourself a tick. What about menopause? Are you in menopause? If you are in menopause, menopause being you haven't had a period for 12 months, give yourself a tick. Lifting your bags and or your grandchildren. Are you finding that a little bit more challenging than the olden days? You think, gee, these bags are heavy, or gee, these kids are heavy. Give yourself a tick. What about your lower back? Have you found that you've had lower back pain or maybe shoulder pain, knee pain, hip pain, neck pain? Let's think about our joints. Do you have joint pain? Give yourself a tick. Next one is getting down and up off the floor again. Do you find it more challenging these days to get down on the floor and then get up again with ease? You think about it. When you're a kid, you don't think about that. But as we get older, it's like, if I get down there, can I get back up again? Do you have those thoughts? Is that reality for you? Give yourself a tick. Next one is that's it. So there's 15 questions there. Add up your ticks. How many ticks did you get? So if you had between 1 and 3 ticks, the reality is you probably do have good lean muscle strength. So I want to say congratulations to you, and I want to say that as aging women, that will dwindle if you do not maintain it. So super important that you continue to do resistance training, but high five, well done. You are obviously caring for your body in a way where your lean muscle mass is good enough that you are not getting symptoms from lower lean muscle mass. All right, if you got between 3 and 10 ticks, this means that your muscles are declining. And don't worry, you're not alone. This is the average woman. So the average woman over the age of 35 loses between 3 and 8% of their lean muscle mass every decade after the age of 35. So if you lost 8%, by the time you are 55, that would be 16%. 65 would be 24% of your lean muscle mass, yeah? So that can be creating the symptoms of the things I just spoke about. And if you got more than 10 ticks, you would have what we would probably say fairly poor lean muscle mass. And girls, what I want to share with you is why is lean muscle mass even important? And by getting it back, what are you able to do for your body? So I wrote here things like bone density. We know that if we maintain our lean muscle mass, we're at less risk of breaks, fractures, osteopenia, and osteoporosis. If we have good lean muscle mass, we're at less risk of falling because the strength in our body is allowing us to lift our feet. If we have good lean muscle mass, we are at less risk of injuries. Injuries such as lower back injury, shoulder, neck, knees, and hips. And that's because not only are our muscles protecting us, but our tendons and our ligaments are stronger, more supple, and also assisting in keeping our body injury free. Chronic disease. When you have low lean muscle mass, this can slow down our metabolism. As we slow down our metabolism, things can happen that can cause us to gain weight, and also we can become what we call insulin sensitive at our older ages, which means we get at risk of things of putting on belly fat, changing hormones. We can be at risk of things like diabetes, heart disease, cholesterol, blood pressure, autoimmune disease, all these different things. If we have low lean muscle mass, we are at risk of poor posture. Now if you look around today, may see an older person head forward, leaning forward, forward posture, shuffling, maybe got a walking chair, and all this forward posture is creating a higher risk of falling. Now with your low bone density, because you don't have the lean muscle mass, this is causing risk of break and fracture. So good posture comes with good lean muscle mass. What about your balance? How's your balance? Another sign that if you have good lean muscle mass, you will protect your balance. Pelvic floor. Are you incontinent? Good pelvic floor strength, muscle strength, will help you to maintain continence. Weight gain. Good muscle strength, as I say, will speed up your metabolism and will reduce the risk of you gaining overall weight. Sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is a disease, and basically it's frailty. And you'll notice with the elderly, we can say they are frail. And basically their muscles become so weak that often they can lose that ability to be independent in their everyday life, independent to be able to walk unaided, independent to be able to shower without assistance, independent to be able to wash their hair without doing a shoulder injury. So sarcopenia is a disease that comes when we decline in our lean muscle mass. The reality is we are all declining in our lean muscle mass, and we are now at the age that we must make a choice, a decision of how we move forward. Do we move forward with natural aging of losing lean muscle mass, putting us at risk of all those different things I just spoke about, or do we choose to take another step in another direction and create change for our body? Resistance training is able to give you amazing results no matter what age you are. So whether you've started in your 20s, 30s or 40s, happy days to you, or whether you're in your 50s and 60s, never picked up a weight and thought too late for me, it is never too late. We know from the research and the studies that you are able to regain strength no matter what age you are. But if you're anything like me as an older woman, you want to know that it's safe. You want to know that it's effective. You want to know it's going to give you results. You don't want to be doing exercise that's so beyond your capability at the age that you are that you create an injury, because we also know that injuries take a lot longer to heal as older women. So all in all, ladies, I want you to know that you are able to increase your lifespan by approximately 4 years by increasing your exercise on a weekly basis by approximately 150 minutes a week. I want you also to know that you are able to regain your lean muscle mass no matter what age or your starting point, and able to give yourself the gift of all those things I just mentioned, to be strong, to have a good metabolism, to be continent, to have strong bones, to have good posture, to be injury free, reduce the risk of disease. By exercising and training in a resistance way, 2-3 times a week to start with, combining it with our 4 pillars of health, our mobility, our flexibility, our strength, and our cardio. All right, well, that's what I wanted to share with you today. I'd love to know what you got, what out of 15, how many ticks you had. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I am here for you. If you would like to join us in our Live Longer online health club, just simply go to my website, www.danaeden.com.au, to find out more. All right, have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.